Massachusetts. We have statistics. We have information that just doesn't look good on paper. But when we get together and we go to help the people that are being victims and also dealing with those who perpetrate it, that's where we got to do it on the individual level. So all of us need to commit. So this is the third year here, and I can say as mayor, we've got over 100 communities now today having the same issue and crying out when the bell tolls. They say choose respect in those communities. Very appropriate. We're reading here in the church because that's another place where all of this comes together in supporting each other and the families that we have in our community. That is who we are. So I ask that here in the third year of the rallies that we have, we're honored here to have the governor who stepped forward and said, this is what's going to be done, and this is how we're going to do it. And he's here with his honorable wife, Sandy. And I would just ask you to join in the thank you to the governor for this thing, this Choose Respect rally that he has called for and pushed continually for 3 years. Governor, please speak to us.
Well, thank you. It is great to be back here in Fairbanks with you and to see all of you just lights in your community here. Like many places in Alaska, winter's been severe here, hasn't it? You guys ready for it to be over?
Yes.
No, we got one person who says no, but you know, it's been long. We're tired of the snow. We're tired of the weight of it, the frustration, the isolation it causes, the damage. And we say, as Alaskans, let spring come. And across Alaska, you can see signs of spring. This morning, I woke up and was looking out here at the Chena and saw the warmth of the sun coming up over it. It said spring is on the way. And spring gives new birth, new life. And we're here because this winter of domestic violence and sexual assault has gone on for too long. Yeah. We say, let spring come. Let spring come to chase away the storm clouds of rage. Let spring come to break the chains of fear. Let spring come to drive away the shame and the guilt. And Alaskans, by standing up, you are bringing the new life of spring to victims and survivors who have been gripped by this winter for too long. Across more than 100 communities, 123 at last count, we as Alaskans proclaim every Alaskan's right to be free of fear. It's time for spring in Alaska homes and in Alaska hearts. Time for renewal and rebirth. And there are many good people here who bind up the wounds of the brokenhearted and who offer life and hope to those hurting. I think of people like Brenda Stanfill and her staff at Interior Alaska Center for Nonviolent Living. You know, we just heard about 60 souls who found refuge last night near here. But every day, 24 hours a day, they shelter, they comfort, they guide, and they bring hope to people who have nowhere else to turn. And many of you here do the same. To our medical and law enforcement professionals who treat victims, who handle forensic evidence, who testify in the courthouse, to our prosecutors and victims' rights advocates, and to our child guardians, all of you who ensure justice and survival, thank you. To the city of Fairbanks, to everybody who lives here, we say thank you for stepping up and having the courage today. These Choose Respect rallies build capacity for prevention. I heard from a small community this week, and it was a community that had just come on board to hold a Choose Respect rally. They started putting up the Choose Respect posters. When they did, one woman called the number on the poster. She asked for help. She made a plan, and she got out of her abusive situation just because of one Choose Respect poster being put up in her town. Woo! And every time we hold these rallies and events across this state, many other victims and survivors see your heart and see that you care. And they begin calling and asking for help and trying to make a plan to get themselves out. So you bring more life and hope than you can ever know. Victims and survivors will watch the news tonight, and they will know that you care for them. They'll know that they are valued and valuable, that life can be different and better than what they know today. So I want to say thank you. Thanks for creating a state that one day will no longer be known for its epidemic of abuse, but where we as a people will be known as a people and land of respect. The Choose Respect initiative really has three components: the prevention, greater law enforcement, and greater support services for victims and survivors. And as a state, we spend millions of dollars in all three of those areas. But as the mayor said, the state is really just one part of the solution. It's up to you. It's up to me as individuals to make a difference. The powerful part starts with you and me being involved. And some get involved through organizations, at child advocacy centers like Stevie's Place, OCS, in schools, in the faith community as well. Every one of those has a role, and we need to be involved individually. We need to take that moment when a child gives us a clue that they've been abused. We must let that child know that abuse is not and never their fault. We must listen and not dismiss what we hear. We must report abuse and make sure help is provided. If you're concerned a friend is being abused, think about the power of words in that person's life. Think about how they've been diminished as a human being by words of manipulation and control and fear. How those words of manipulation and control have just pulled the fabric of their life and unstrung it. And think of the words that you can offer to help that person, young or old. Words like, "Are you okay? I'm concerned for you." Words like, "You deserve to be safe. How can I help you?" Telling them that going to a shelter to escape abuse is nothing to be ashamed of. Telling them that asking for help can change everything. And to abusers, my message has been consistent.